Oh friends, what happened? Let's look at the front line and not only. Support our heroes with a like and a kind word in the comments. Polish Prime Minister Morawiecki convened an emergency meeting of the Council of Ministers Committee on National Security and Defense after one of two Russian missiles landed in Lubelski voivodeship on the border with Ukraine, killing 2 people. The Polish Air Force scrambled fighter jets from the airfields in Tomaszów-Lubelski. Army and prosecutors arrived at the firm, Visegrad. According to Article 5, NATO, in the event that any of the member states of the alliance is the victim of an armed attack, all other members of the alliance, without exception, will consider this act of violence to be an armed attack against them all and will take all measures they deem appropriate to assist the member of the alliance that has been attacked. Missile fragments at the explosion site belong to Russian X-101 missile. Polish journalist. We are waiting for official results. Friends, if you think it's time for NATO to officially enter this war, please write your opinion in the comments. My first reaction after the Russian hits the territory of Poland would be Article 4, closure and defense of the airspace over Ukraine. Latvian Defense Minister publics. If the crash was international, this will be a military response from NATO. Polish Senate advisor Marcin Zabrowski. Right now, Polish President Duda is on the telephone with US President Biden. It was at night. This will be no NATO reaction to the shelling of Polish territory, Arestovich. I'm sure that NATO countries will take advantage of this pause in order not to raise the temperature. A difficult political decision, and they have no doubt that they will be forgiven for this incident. Russia is stuck to the fullest. The Russians fired about 100 missiles during the massive strike, says Ukrainian Air Force spokesman. They surpassed October 10th when 84 missiles were fired. A lot were shot down, but there are also hits. The situation is difficult. There are no change on the border with Belarus. It seems that processes that can be described as covert mobilization continue to take place in Belarus. Aggressive movements near our border have been going on since summer, so the threat has been there for a long time, but we are ready for it. The situation in Svatovo sector is difficult. As a result, the fighting our troops pushed the enemy to small dips in the forest steppe area, but they failed to geolocate the place. Bakhmut direction. In response to our reinforcement, the enemy is trying to build up more forces. The enemy's attempt to advance near Mayorsk are stopped. Avdiivka sector. The situation remains tenser. The enemy is pushing Opytne and possibly even occupied the entire village. The enemy continues to raise Pervomayske to the ground as well as Marinka. In both cases, no enemy advance were recorded. Judging by one video from Nevelske, the enemy captured the checkpoint basin, which is 1,600 meters from the village. Update is on the front line to the northeast of Volodymyrivka. Zaporizhzhia direction, no changes. Kherson direction, no changes. Our artillery keeps firing at the enemy. The latter does not keep silence either. They are using a significant number of Lancets. Today there are videos from Oleshki and Novakakhovka, where no signs of liberation or even fighting within the towns have been recorded. Russia is increasingly talking about seizing part of Donetsk region, stressing that Russian forces are intensifying operation in Donetsk region after their withdrawal from the right bank of Kherson region, ISW. As the conclusions of the American Institute of War. Ukrainian forces continue their counter-offensive on the Svatovo-Kremenna line and clashed with Russian forces near Bilohorivka. Russian troops unsuccessfully tried to regain positions in the north of Kharkiv region. Russian troops intensified their offensive in Donetsk region and claimed to have captured the territory around Bakhmut and northwest of Donetsk. Russian sources claimed that Ukrainian troops conducted an unsuccessful raid on the Kinburn Spit. It should be noted that all this information requires official confirmation from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. There's the event known to us today. In order not to miss the new issue, do not forget to subscribe to the channel.